Radha Madhava Radha Madhava Radhe. Tirunavam Sankirtanam ki. So we're very fortunate today to have with us the association of the great Keshav Kripa Sindhu. Let us welcome his spirit by one time down, please, I think. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna. When we have to start a Bhagavatam, so I am focused on the easy and the then it was of course methods was so even though my study was going after that everything was very kind of combined with it so something that in board of fashion meeting has become now or this and that. So to be more of presentation to paper and some of the people. In that way, and also once like a couple of years back I done this 24 of the then they some fight or broke down something happened. And it was very tough. It was very for the people what to do. So in that way, it was very lecture on the business world business and it was the best person to offer lectures on things. And today's topic, I'm thinking who is a better person to talk about than it. That was very important to have an opportunity to speak out here for it and be all the best. Very good.
Thank you. Thank you so much for the warm welcome. Very happy to be here amongst all of you. Came little late because morning I just estimated the time, but the driving time was different. Okay, so we look at this verse today, 1:16:19. The topic is don't play blame games. Okay. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Dharma uvacha Kajit Patre Namayam Atmanaste Vichayasi Nayate Sanmukhena Alakshaye Bhavati Mantaradim Dure Bandhum Sochasi Kanchanamba Dharma uvacha Kajit Patre Namayam Atmanaste Vichayasi Alayate Shammukena Alakshye Bhavati Mantaradim Dure Bandhum Sochasi Kanchanamba Dharma Uvacha Kajit Patre Namayam Atmanaste Vichayasi Layate Shammukena Alakshaye Bhavati Mantaradim Dure Bandhum Sochati Kanchanamba. Translation and purport by the Divine Grace is Vedanta Śrīla Prabhupāda. Śrīla Prabhupāda ki. You read what word meanings? Okay. Synonyms. Dharma uvacha. Dharma inquired. Kachit. Whether. Bhadre. Madam. Anamayam. Quite hale and hearty. Atmana. Self. Te. On to you. Vichaya. Vichayasi. Appear to be covered with the shadow of grief. Malayata, which darkens. Isat, slightly. Mukhena, by the face. Alakshaye, you look. Bhavatim, onto yourself. Antaradhim, some disease within. Dure, long distant. Bandhum, friend. Sochasi, thinking of. Kanchana, someone. Amba, O mother. Translation purport by His Divine Grace is Bhaktivedanta Swami Śrīla Prabhupāda. Śrīla Prabhupāda ki. Dharma in the form of a bull asked, Madam, are you not hale and hearty? Why are you covered with the shadow of grief? It appears by your face that you have become black. Are you suffering from some internal disease, or are you thinking of some relative who is away in a distant place? Purport. The people of the world in this age of Kali are always full of anxieties. Everyone is diseased with some kind of ailment. From the very faces of the people of this age, one can find out the index of the mind. Everyone feels the absence of his relatives who is away from home. The particular symptom of the age of Kali is that no family is now blessed to live together. To earn a livelihood, the father lives at a place far away from the son, or the wife lives far away from the husband, and so on. There are sufferings from internal diseases, separation from those near and dear, and anxieties for maintaining the status quo. These are but some important factors which make the people of this age always unhappy. ओमज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरोन् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातां सहगना रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगना ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिन्निति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशकारिणे नमो महावदन्याय कृष्णप्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्य नामिने गौरतुषे नमः। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधो दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते सप्तकांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये पञ्चकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। ओम Hare Krishna. How many devotees here are chanting 16 now? Okay, okay. How many are chanting 4 rounds? Oh. How many chanting 1 round? Anybody? 8 rounds? Okay. How many are very new? 6. Okay. How many are very new? You're coming for first time? No. Okay. All of you here have studied Bhagavad Gita or at least read through Bhagavad Gita? Rohit? Anand? Fine, fine. I'm asking as per that, I'll tune some things. If not, those are 16 rounds and all, they'll be able to understand some things. We'll be able to catch something. So today, we are looking at this chapter of Bhagavatam. I'll show you what is the flow so that you will be able to appreciate it a bit more. So this is the 19th chapter of Gita. Sorry, 19th chapter of first canto of Bhagavatam. So the whole flow of Bhagavatam begins like this in the first canto. Altogether, there are 12 cantos. In the first canto, first 3 chapters are called as the prelude. No, a lot of philosophical concepts are there. Then the context comes where the author who has to compose Bhagavatam in relation to how the composition begins. Why as such this book had to be written at all? How many books were already there? Why some more books for that matter? Okay. The whole discussion happens between Narad Muni and Vyasadeva. And Narad Muni tells Vyasadeva as to what is the necessity or how a person has to actually compose this whole scripture. Okay. Then Vyasadeva begins composing it. But as he is supposed to get to the context where this whole science of Bhagavatam was discussed between Sukadeva Goswami and Parikshit Maharaj. Okay? But as he was getting to the context of Parikshit Maharaj's birth and the events leading to that, the conclusion of Bhagavatam that is there comes over here in the 5th chapter, many places also. Conclusion is this: Etadi atura chittana matra sparsha ichchayamu bhavasindhu pravodishno hari charya anuvarnanam. Okay. So to repeatedly glorify the Lord and sufficiently glorify the Lord. That is basically the purpose of human existence. Okay. Not human existence, of everything for that matter. Anything that exists. Science, philosophy, literature, poetry, whatever that exists, it is meant for this only. That is to sufficiently and repeatedly glorify the Lord. Okay. It was in the 15th century. Okay, there was one scientist by name Copernicus. Okay. So in the West, what happened was he proposed what is called as the geocentric model of the solar system. Okay, and the church had the perspectives of heliocentric model. Okay. Sorry, the church had the perspective of geocentric model, and he proposed the heliocentric model. And today, what we see, no, sun is there. What we study in school, sun is there at the center, and all planets move around it. Okay, but the Bible or Bhagavatam and all, they propose this model that actually Earth is stationary and all sun, moon, all these are actually rotating. Okay? So when he proposed that, the church as such became so aggressive against him, they killed him only. Copernicus was killed. I think some others also, Galileo and all these scientists. So I am bringing about this context. Originally, when anything in this world was studied, it was always studied in relation to God and that subject being together. You can take anything, medical science, metallurgy, engineering, anything for that matter. Both these subjects were always studied together. Okay? But in the recent history, these kind of events that made these two subjects to be studied separately or differently for that matter, or independently. Okay. But as Bhagavatam is here, this is like the crux or the essence of all subjects. That is to sufficiently and repeatedly glorify the Lord. Okay? And this was there everywhere. This was how the whole human civilization was actually tuned. You can take it infrastructure, you can take anything. This was what it was meant for. Okay? This science was being described by Vyasadev. And as the discussion starts off between Sutta Goswami and the Shaunakadi rishis over there, as he starts describing Krishna's pastimes, Krishna's glories, and the devotees' glories, he gets so much drenched into that practically from chapter number okay, here, chapter number 6 to almost like till here, no, birth of how Parikshit Maharaj received the age of Kali. So many chapters he ends up describing. Okay. Why this is so? Because the pastimes of the Lord, the exchanges of the Lord that he has with his devotees are so sweet that naturally anybody and everybody in this world are actually pulled by it. They're not pulled by it, they're dragged by it for that. Just like small children, when they start eating chocolate, they eat one, they eat two, they think they can go on eating forever. Okay. So actually the soul has this kind of attraction towards Krishna. Okay. The actual attraction that exists in all of us, animals, humans, dogs, anybody, whomever you take, it is actually towards Krishna for that matter. Okay. Mistakenly in this world, we try for another replacement. Okay. We try that with money, we try that with maybe comforts, we try that with the gadgets, we try that with so many of these other things. Okay. And at the end of the day, nothing satisfies because you cannot replace the absolute truth with anything relative over there. Okay. So, but the absolute truth as such, no, his glories are unending. Okay. And the sweetness also is unending. One can go on and on and on and on. Okay. Chocolate has limitation, gulab jamun has limitation, all these things have limitation. But the glories of the Lord can go on and on. Okay. So when he starts describing Krishna's pastime, then after that he realizes, actually I have to describe the conversation that happened between Parikshit Maharaj and Sukadeva Goswami. Then he comes to the picture over there. Then from this chapter 16, he actually goes into those details. So here in this particular context, that is described, 19th verse that is there here. Okay. Yeah. So Parikshit Maharaj, once he's crowned the king after his birth and all, then he starts going to different parts of the kingdom. And wherever he goes, he gets to hear about the glories, of his ancestors, how the Pandavas were there, what all they did, etc., etc. One context comes where this happens. Yeah. The personality of religious principles, Dharma, was wandering about in the form of a bull. Okay? And he met the personality of earth in the form of a cow who appeared to grieve like a mother who had lost her child. She had tears in her eyes, and the beauty of her body was lost. Thus, Dharma questioned the earth as follows. So, here, Dharma in the form of bull is talking to cow, who is personifying Mother Earth. Okay? And this is what he is asking. Okay? Dharma asked, Madam, are you not hale and hearty? Why are you covered with the shadow of grief? It appears by your face that you have become black. Are you suffering from some internal disease? Or are you thinking of some relative who is away in a distant place for that matter? Okay. Then, so this conversation over here that is happening, Vedic science in general is quite subtle. Okay, is very very subtle. Okay? When I say subtle, you'll be able to understand. Even through this conversation, no, it's not like a direct no conclusion. Okay, like people in this world, when they see any context, they directly come to the conclusion. Okay, for example, no, uh, let's say a person from some country, no, he's making some bombs which can destroy the whole world. Okay, so it is generalized that the people of the whole country, for that matter, are doing that one, or people of the whole community are into that one. Okay? That is how people see it very grossly as such. So modern times as such have become very very gross. People think that okay, 3 BHK is there, big home is there, and proper facilities are there, then people will be very very happy. Okay? These are very very gross understandings of modern times. But Vedic culture as such was very very subtle. Here in this conversation also we'll analyze and how different conversations are there in Bhagavatam. They're very very subtle. Okay? Subtle when I say no, the factors involved might appear very vague, but when you apply the science, you see the effect very easily. Maybe I'll show you something, you can be able to understand it directly. मिक्स करके ओके कितने लोगों को यहाँ पे अंग्रेजी बिल्कुल नहीं आती ओके is it needed or I don't know how it happens Saturday mornings or how should I do it? You need it in Hindi little bit makes sense तो तो वैदिक शास्त्र में जो भी जिनका भी जितना भी अनुवर्णन है कि सबसे नीचे स्तर में आता है कर्मकांड तो कर्मकांड के अनुसार ये थोड़ा विज्ञान है ये विज्ञान कितना सूक्ष्म है आपको अभी ये दिखाई पड़ेगा एक फोटो लिया था हमने ये मातंग ऋषि पर्वत जो हम्पी के क्षेत्र में किष्किंधा क्षेत्र में आता है ना वहां पे तो इसको हम थोड़ा पढ़ेंगे उसको आपको थोड़ा तजुर्बा आएगा कि वैदिक शास्त्र जो है जितना सूक्ष्म है तो यहाँ पे जो भी हिंदी में है वो पढ़िए यस ब्रो कैन यू रीड ओके यस ब्रो नेक्स्ट वन
पंछी को दाना डालने से धंधा रोजगार अच्छा चलता है रोटी खिलाते
यस नहीं रीड द थर्ड वन yes somebody else next गली हो गई हुई समृद्धि वापस है अभी कुत्ते और हमारे दुश्मन का क्या संबंध है कोई बता सकता है कोई संबंध नहीं और चींटियों को खाने देने से कर्ज कम हो जाता है कर्ज देने वाले से या कर्ज लेने वाले का चींटियों के के साथ क्या संबंध है कोई बता सकता है कोई संबंध नहीं ठीक है? इसलिए मैंने बोला ना वैदिक शास्त्र जो भी बताया गया है वो सूक्ष्म है हाँ वो ग्रह से वही बता रहा हूँ सूक्ष्म है अभी ग्रह तो मतलब वो ग्रह तो बैठा नहीं था नहीं वहां पे जो कर्ज का जो भी संबंध चल रहा था वाद विवादों में You have to understand. So Vedic scriptures as such are very subtle also. Then this is the lowest. This is Karma Kanda. This is also not so gross as such. What do we think? Okay. तो नाउ वी आर लुकिंग इनटू भागवतम. अभी जो हम देख रहे हैं अनुवर्णन जो भी है वो भागवतम का अनुवर्णन समझ रहे हैं. भगवान के तहत कैसे किया गया है. Okay? तो सोचिए ये कितना सूक्ष्म होगा. हाउ सटल एंड हाउ डीप इट विल बी. Because as such we cannot realize as to how glorification of the Lord satisfies everything. Okay? Completes everything for that matter. Prabhupada time and again quotes Vidya Bhagavata Avadi. Okay? Education as such is complete when one completes study of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. Study of Bhagavatam. Okay? But nowadays everything as such is seen so grossly. Okay? Education means that by which money is gained. If you study Bhagavatam, you will get that also. Okay? So here it is said, no मछली को आटे की गोली डालने से क्या होता है? गई हुई समृद्धि वापस आ जाती है. Okay? मछली को बस रोटी खिलाने से ये सब हो रहा है. अगर भागवतम में अगर हमारा स्मरण बढ़ाएंगे तो कितना समृद्धि आएगा हम सोच नहीं सकते. This is something that we should be aware of when we are looking at this deep and advanced science of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. Okay? We should not underestimate it, thinking it to be something like very ordinary or something, no, something regular. Okay? This is the topmost of the science. This is not different from the Supreme Lord. Okay? So, with what consciousness we actually give to Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, the same consciousness actually we are giving to the Supreme Lord itself. Okay? So let us say somebody is feeling very bored looking at Bhagavatam. Even if Krishna stands Sakshat in front of us now, we'll be bored by him also. कौन है भाई निकल जाओ भाई उतना ही बोलेंगे भगवान को डायरेक्ट बोल देंगे. Okay? Because he is not different from Bhagavatam. He is not different from Bhagavatam. And so these are particular aspects that we should try to understand. Because even in this context over here, Dharma Bull as such is seeing mother cow and seeing how mother cow as such is very distressed. But is not coming to the direct conclusion, no, who would have done this to you? Okay. No, you are distressed because of some gross factors, etc., etc. Even the question, if you happen to see, it's very, very subtle that is being asked. Okay. Okay. Are you not hale and hearty? Why are you covered with the shadow of grief? It appears by your face that you have become black. Are you suffering from some internal disease, or are you thinking of some relative who is in a distant place, for that matter? Distant place. Okay. So he is not blaming people. He's not blaming situations. Okay. He's not blaming the surroundings or different things for that matter. I'll just show you on shloka. You'll be able to understand that. Give me a minute. द्विज उवाच नायं जनो मे सुख दुःख हेतुर् न देवतात्मा गृह कर्म काला मनः परं कारणमामनन्ति संसार चक्रं परिवर्तयेद्यात्. Okay. Just read the translation, then we look at that. Okay. The Brahmana said, these people are not the cause of my happiness and distress. Neither are the demigods, my own body, the planets, my past work or time. Okay. Rather, it is the mind alone that causes happiness and distress and perpetuates the rotation of material life. So all of these things, in general, people, whenever they are through any material happiness or distress, they end up blaming these things only. Okay. That is, no, people around, these people. Next is devatas for that matter. Okay. Or my own body. In general, people have that perspective. No, if I had this body, if I had that body, if I was so tall, if I was oh, look like this, if I look like that, okay, if I have this skill set, if my memory was like this, intelligence was like this, etc., etc. As per that, I'll be very happy. The planets. So those people who have some idea of planets in the sense here it relates to astrological combinations and all. Shani, Rehu, sorry, not Rehu, Rahu, Shani, Rahu, Ketu, so many of these planets as such, effect of planets. My past work, as per my karma, okay, or time, okay, Kala. Kala as such is not good because of which these things are happening, etc., etc. That is why I am very happy or distressed. Okay, rather it is the mind alone that causes happiness and distress and perpetuates the rotation of material life. Okay? See, basically, when you have to speak of the mind, the subtle body composed of the mind, intelligence, and false ego. Mind specifically is the storage of past experiences, and I'll show you one photo. Just give me a second. I'm looking for one particular photo that will have this is one. Okay. So this is how the working happens. Okay. The senses as such take inputs and they lead to the mind over there. Okay. So mind as such is composed of these three. Okay. The storehouse of thoughts, unfulfilled desires, and previous experiences. Okay. Intelligence is this factor. Intelligence is the decision maker and discrimination and determination. These things are compose make up the intelligence. This actually makes the mind for that matter. Okay, storage of thoughts, unfulfilled desires, and previous experience. Okay? Path of bhakti or the study of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam as such is so powerful that the mind, whatever be the previous experiences, okay, or storehouse of thoughts and all, whatever be the negative experiences, horrific experiences, haunting experiences, all these things can be very easily cleared off. Cleared off. So powerful is actually the path of bhakti. Okay? But if a person as such, if he doesn't take to the path of bhakti, then these things can haunt a person like anything. Okay? Haunt a person like anything. Okay? Mind being a storage of thoughts, unfulfilled desires, previous experiences, so naturally has certain inclinations. Okay? In this world, everybody you will find. Okay? Some people like cold, some people like warm. Some people like hot, some people like cold. Some people like fluffy things, little fluffy. Some people like hard, rough and tough things. Okay? If a person is just situated on the mental platform, if he's just going by things what he likes very much, okay? That is what today's civilization is tuned like that. People are just tuned to get what they like. Okay? Then with that, what happens? Eventually, the mind becomes very, very strong. Okay, very, very strong. And if he's put in a situation which is not liking to him, then the person cannot tolerate it. Okay. Nowadays, most of many colleges and all, wherever we visit, we see that young boy is there, young girl is there. Then they get into some kind of illicit connection. So both are having like a pleasant time doing things which are against dharma, etc., etc. Then either of the partner, let's say, ditches the other person. Then the person can't hold it only. Okay. So what happened with the mind was the programming was like this. He was getting something what he likes. Okay? Whether it was dharmic or adharmic, he was not using his buddhi. Okay? When he uses his buddhi, these things come into picture. What is dharma, what is adharma, what I should get, what I should not get. And all. Buddhi is only not getting utilized. Okay? So the mind becomes stronger and stronger. Okay? I'm getting what I like, 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 I'm getting what I like. Okay? And suddenly something happens which is not liking. Okay? Then those people end up committing suicide only. Either they commit suicide, if not, they can to control themselves. They have to smoke, drink, take drugs, just to come to a situation for the mind to become sane one. But the Vedic civilization, how it was, okay, I think last time I told, no, Yugadi. Okay, during the time of Yugadi, we are given Bevu Bella. Bevu Bella, samajhte ho? Bevu is neem, Bella is gur. Okay, so powder of that is given. When you put it in your mouth, you experience both. That is sweet and bitter also. Okay, this is given at the beginning of the year only. Hindu calendar begins with Yugadi, no? Okay, beginning of the year only, you are told life is going to be like this. Kuch khata, kuch meeta. Something will be bitter, something will be sweet for them. But as today's civilization is not like that. Okay? Whatever a person likes, that is what is given. What he doesn't like, he is not trained for that only. He is never trained to, his consciousness is never molded to handle failures. He is just told whatever you want in your life, you can get. You are the master of your own destiny, and things like that. Etc. etc. But life is not like that. Reality is not like that. Person has to tune himself with the reality. And if the mind as such is tuned with the reality, the actual reality is pure glorification of the Lord. Anything else, if you glorify in the Lord, it's temporary. Okay? That is, somebody is glorifying some actor. After some time, the actor only will not be there. Okay? Or the actor will end up in some kind of a scandal. Then a person as such is not liking that person. But the Supreme Lord is the absolute truth. Any point of time, you can fall in love with him. Okay? And he will never leave you in a very distressful situation. So when the mind as such is tuned with reality, then the temporary things of this world don't matter much for that individual. Understood? Okay, and Bhagavatam is actually meant for that. Bhagavatam as such is actually meant for that. To tune all of us to the reality of this existence. That we are not the center, that Krishna is the center. His glories are the center. Okay. In this world, by and large, how it happens, to the degree a person realizes that Krishna is the supreme proprietor, controller, enjoyer, he remains very, very humble. Okay, with that humility, he can see the reality. But when the false ego takes over, and the person starts to think, oh, this is how it should be, this is how I should be, I am taking control of the situation, I can do this, I can do that, and all, then he ends up in a very, very miserable situation. Okay, and today's leaders and all, if you happen to see, anytime, any political scenario in the world, you happen to ask, no, you happen to just see, you just look at the leader, he's always been a blaming situation. Okay? Always been this happens, no, why this is so, because that happened. No, because the previous party did this, that is why my party is suffering, putting in the ruling position. Okay? Or this happened, why is it happening? Because the country over there, is not giving resources to us. Okay? Or that is happening, this is happening, etc. etc. Everywhere you will find a very blaming kind of scenario, blaming kind of a scenario. But people in Vedic times were very, very humble, because they understood, if anything has to happen to me, it has to happen by the will of the absolute Lord only. Okay? Whether good happens or bad happens, it has to happen by the will of the Lord only. Okay? Prabhupada brings the context of war situation. Okay? So when Prabhupada was there in Calcutta, Prabhupada says during the war situation, it so happened the British government artificially increased the prices of the grains. Okay? And many poor Indians, they're not able to afford the food only. Okay? They're not able to afford for the food. Okay? So many people just died out of starvation. They died out of starvation. Only the rich, aristocratic and all, they were able to buy the grains. They brought the grains, cooked and ate. But most of the poor people and all, they just died out of starvation. Okay? Died out of starvation. They just accepted the fact. Okay? It is actually amazing in one sense, if you happen to see. Okay? If you compare scenarios in America and all, let's say some tornado, some typhoon and all hits. That is the time when the highest of the crime as such is recorded. Okay? Because many people see that like a very opportune moment for them to go and start stealing in the stores. Okay? Because till then they were just going outside the stores. Outside the stores, they were going and seeing, this is very nice, that is very nice and all. But when the storms hit, the whole city becomes vacant. or only the people who are owners are there, but the police as such is inactive. Because whole thing is really again a chaos. Okay? So everybody takes it as a situation to go and steal and rob and loot people. Okay? But in India, people being dharmic those years, people just accepted it as a fact. There are no reported incident like people going and beating the other person. Oh, you have food, give me the food. Why are not giving me food? So for the humble people, it becomes very easy to accept the reality. They understand if prosperity has to come, material happiness has to come, it will come by the will of the Lord. And if distress has to come, that will also come by the will of the Lord. If not, it is not going to come. If not, it is not going to come for them. Okay? This a person can very, very easily accept when with the passage of time, he increases his absorption in the characters of Bhagavatam. Okay? When he increases the absorption in the holy name of the Lord. Okay? Nowadays, absorption, very difficult to define absorption. Okay? Because there was a time when people used to sit and watch a movie for 2 hours, 3 hours and all. Yeah? Nowadays, it is like 3 or 4 seconds only. Instagram and all, 4 seconds, 5 seconds, something comes, then next term. Okay? By the time a person is able to even think about the subject that is going on, what he just spoke, what is it even real or unreal and all, next subject starts. Okay? Then after that, again the next subject. It keeps rolling on and on and on. With this, what happens, people cannot get to understand what is the reality of this world. Okay? But if you look at the characters of Bhagavatam, in the Vedic times, how it was, people daily used to hear the scriptures. Okay, they used to be hearing about Lord Ram. They used to be hearing about Lord Krishna. What are their pastimes? How do they interact? How do they interact with the devotees? How special are the devotees? What is the position of devotional service? They used to keep hearing again and again, again and again, again and again, again and again. Okay? With that, naturally, people used to be absorbed in the character of these kind of people. Okay? When you hear about the righteousness that Lord Ram displayed, when you hear about the truthfulness that was displayed by so many characters in Bhagavatam, when you look at the service attitude that so many devotees had towards other devotees, towards the Supreme Lord and all, then naturally a person becomes absorbed. Okay? As on today, it's a very drastic scenario, even for devotees. I'm not talking about the outside world only, even for devotees for that matter. Okay? No, for somebody to just get absorbed in particular characters of Bhagavatam and all, it becomes so difficult even for it. Okay, because every pastime goes so much deep, so much into detail, and so many divine qualities are bestowed in all of them. That if we just learn to get absorbed in those, then naturally we become very tuned with those qualities very easily, very very. Easily. But today, what happens with this kind of social media and the kind of modern practices that are coming? It becomes very difficult for people to develop even sane qualities. Devotional qualities are still far away. Okay? Even sane human qualities for that matter, moral qualities, even that becomes very difficult. Because as I showed you over here, so mind has all these things. Okay, previous thoughts are there, unfulfilled desires are there, previous experiences are there. Okay, and everybody will have good and bad experience. Okay, everybody will have good and bad experience. And it is observed for any individual to get absorbed in something negative is very easy. Okay? Let's say I have to become angry at somebody, envious of somebody, lusty about somebody and all. It is very, very easy. Okay? It is natural for the mind because the mind is there in the material world. For to get tuned with that, it is very, very easy. Okay? And somebody has good experiences and bad experiences. What will the mind get tuned with? Bad experience. Naturally, bad experiences very easily for that matter. Okay. So now we'll just read one context of Bhagavatam. This comes in the first canto itself. Yeah, this is Shringi cursing Maharaj Parikshit. Okay. Here you'll see how this happens. Okay, and a very interesting scenario. Okay. So I'll first describe this context. So Maharaj Parikshit, as such, when he was going around, one point of time, he felt very, very thirsty. Okay, extremely thirsty, extremely thirsty. Okay, then he approaches the ashram of Samik Rishi. Okay. There he finds that even basic hospitality as such was not offered. Okay. Simple seat was not given to him, little water, no sweet words to welcome, nothing as such. Okay. So Parikshit Maharaj, although a great devotee of the Lord, in this particular context, he became so disturbed, he just took a dead snake, wrapped it around the sage's head, and left from there. Okay. And this happened after that. Hmm, no. The sage's son, whose name was Shingi, so he speaks these things. He speaks these things. Let's read this. Okay. Some verses over here, you'll be able to. Some verses over here, you'll be able to understand how the different people are there and how is their consciousness that is actually getting molded. Hmm? Yeah. Yeah, somebody can read.
32. The sage had a son who was very powerful. Being a Brahmana's son, while he was playing with inexperienced boys, he heard of his father's distress, which was occasioned by the king. Then and there the boy spoke as follows.
Yeah, okay. So this is what has happened. Okay. His father as such is not murdered or killed. Yeah. One dead snake was put by the snake. One dead snake as such was pulled by the king for that matter. And this king is not some ordinary person. He is not some minister as on date. He is the Raja Rishi. His devotional depth and the greatness of his are like revealed to the whole world. Everybody knew that even if he does something wrong, it should be taken to be something exceptional. It should not be treated to be like a common masses. Okay. But when pride attacks a person, okay, when he is Krishna unconscious, when he's not conscious of the Lord, then what he ends up saying, we'll be able to see it. Yes, read somebody. In the mic. Online, they have to hear.
The same was very powerful. While he was playing with the experienced wife, was represented by the king. Then, there the boy spoke as follows.
Yeah. And the boy spoke as follows. Social scenarios are very, very provocative. Okay. Here, Shingi is surrounded by whom? Huh? Other friends. Okay. So in that kind of a context, he's getting his news about some snake being put around his father's neck. Okay. Now, just to impress these boys, he ends up telling all these things over here. Hmm? Yeah, read.
Rishi, trust me.
I will complete the whole scenario.
Or just look at the sin of the rulers, who like crows and watchdogs in the grove, perpetrate sins against their masters, contrary to the principles governing servants. The descendants of the king they are definitely designated as watchdogs, and they must keep themselves at the door. On what grounds can dogs enter the house and take time with the master of the same state?
Yeah. Understood, no? See, he's a small boy. Small boy. See, in the Vedic context, these things are taken very, very seriously. Nowadays, it's like almost like second nature. Everybody speaks like that. No, किसी को कुत्ता बोल दिया, किसी को कुछ भी बोल दिया, like second nature. Okay? First of all, he's addressing Parikshit Maharaj. Secondly, it's known. Glories of Parikshit Maharaj are well known everywhere. Yeah? Here he ends up talking of him like this. No, he calls him as a watchdog who's supposed to just stay outside the door. How dare of him to come inside, etc., etc. So one was the social scenario that was there. That was very, very provocative for him. Surrounded by all inexperienced boys and all, and just to impress all of them, he ends up speaking these kind of. Okay. In the age of Kali Yuga, no, the symptoms of Kali Yuga become very, very severe, no, because of these aspects. Okay. Kali Yuga, in fact, begins with this scenario, starting with this scenario. Okay. What is it that you observe over here that no, portrays Kali Yuga? Question is understood? What is it that you observe over here that portrays Kali Yuga? Impressing mentality, okay. Yes, bro. Immaturity, okay. Yes, something you want to say? Suji? आप कुछ बोलना चाहते हैं?
She must be same snake will bite him. Same snake.
No. No, there's no, I've never heard of something like that. I don't think any acharya has written like that. They're different snake. That snake and that snake which will bite Parikshit Maharaj.
Snakes. Be more.
Man. Yes, harsh speech. Okay? Harsh speech. Okay? So most of the things and most of the qualities of Kali Yuga begin with this and become intensified because of this. That is harsh speech. He's using harsh speech, no? Like crows and watchdogs, kauve, kutte ki tarah. Harsh speech only. Okay. So although he was an inexperienced boy as such, no, but because being inflicted and not being absorbed in the glories of the Lord, this is what happens. Okay. In general, that is how it is in this world. No, anyone who does not get absorbed in the glories of the Lord, he'll be absorbed in his own glories. Like Shingi here is thinking, I'm a Brahmana, he's a Kshatriya. Okay, Brahmanas as such are higher than the Kshatriyas. Okay? All these are like bodily designations, more related to the subtle body, gross body. He forgot the fact only how great is the ruler whom he is dealing with. Parikshit Maharaj was not some ordinary person. This Shringi is just a Brahmana, but Parikshit Maharaj had seen the Supreme Lord in the womb only. Before coming out into this world only, he has already seen the Lord. And his ancestors and all, they were not like some ordinary lineage. He was coming from the Pandavas himself. Okay, but all these things, he just forgot it altogether and directly is coming to this understanding and using this hard speech. So, in this world, more and more a person becomes conscious of himself and unconscious of the Supreme Lord. He ends up committing a lot of harm for himself and for others also. Okay, so here Shingi is doing this. Now you will see how his father as such responds as it goes ahead. Yeah, continue. Somebody.
After the departure of Lord Shri Krishna, the personality of Godhead as supreme ruler of everyone, these upstarts have flourished and protected being born. Therefore, I myself shall take up this matter as correction, just witness my power.
Okay. Now the blame game starts off. Why this is happening? Because Krishna has left the planet. Okay. If he was there, this would have been better, that would have been better, etc. etc. Okay. Continue.
The sun direction, his eyes and anger, touch the water of the river Kaushika, while speaking to his playmates and distract the following and whole night.
Words.
The Brahman's son tells the king thus. On the seventh day from today, a snake bird to bite the most wretched one of the dynasty, Maharaj Parikshit, because of this having broken the laws of etiquette by insulting my father.
Okay. By him broken the laws of etiquette by insulting my father. Okay. So nobody asked him to become the police over there. You understand, no? When accident happens, you are expected to go and help the person as a civilian. Okay? You are not expected to take the role of a police officer. Okay? Go and do this, do that, nothing else over there. Okay? But he became the police officer. He took the whole situation in his own hand. How this can happen, how that can happen, this should not happen, that should not happen. And for this kind of a crime, this is the offense, so he should be punished like this over there. Everything he's only decided. Okay? Nobody has asked him over. Nobody has asked. Okay? So self-importance makes a person like this. Yes. Now let us look at his father. Okay, how he being absorbed in the glories of Parikshit Maharaj, how he responds. Yes. Somebody read.
There are all Ramana Rishi, who was born in the family of Andhra Muni. During his son time, gradually opened his eyes and saw the snake around him.
Continue.
Rishi, who was
Hey, this one. 40.
he took the snake aside and asked him, why you are whether anyone had done this or hearing this, the son explained to him what happened.
He took it very lightly. Understood? No, snake is put. He just pushed it aside. Okay. However, nowadays, no, like these are like ordinary things. In village, if you happen to go, many people get bit by snakes, scorpions. They keep snakes. They keep seeing snakes everywhere over there. Okay. But here, now in Bangalore city, people don't know spelling of snake also. Hardly they end up seeing snakes or something like that. Okay. But this was how it was. He saw, okay, dead snake is there. What is the big deal? He just took it and threw it away. Okay. He didn't started to think, how is it? No, how the snake came over here? Did somebody put? How dare of him to put snake on me? Nothing as such. Okay. He understood dead snake is there. He just took it and threw it. Hmm? And a person becomes very absorbed in devotion service, okay, in relation to the greatness of the Supreme Lord. Okay, then what happens? Even the things that happen in this world, no, they become very acceptable. Okay, very acceptable. Okay. Like one of my friends' uncle was there. Okay. He met with an accident. He lost his hands. Lost his hands. Then after some time, his relatives were searching for him. Then they're not able to, get him as such. Okay. Then they found him in some dham, whether practicing devotion service or something over there. And they just accepted that. Poor fellow doesn't have hands, he'll not be able to do much in his life. So he is interested in devotional service. So let him do devotional service. Just accept it. Nowadays people make such a huge hue and cry of everything. Okay? So some small pimple is there, for that one satellite is put into the sky. Okay, through that satellite one advertisement is made, in full industry is made. That advertisement it goes to the satellite, then is put into one television. To make that television, one more factory is made over there. Just to solve the pimple one. So solve one pimple one. So if we are not absorbed in the glories of the Lord, pitty puny things, pitty puny problems of this world, which are not even problems, they become very, very significant for us. But here in the case of Samik Rishi, he is absorbed in Krishna. Okay? So even a dead snake is put on him or whatever as such, he is not bothered. He is ready to just push it aside and go on. Yes.
So let's say it's an all Rishi. Why the Rishi even desperately?
No, he is his father. He is his father. He is his father. Shamik Rishi.
He did all this. Why he gave him desperately?
He didn't give, his son gave.
Again, why?
His son gave. That is what pride makes a person like this. When you are Krishna conscious, then you are sane. Shringi describes what is insanity. Yes, read ahead.
The father heard from the son that the king had been told, although he should never have been condemned, for he was the best amongst all human beings. The Rishi did not congratulate his son, but on the contrary began to repent, saying, Lord, what a great sinful act was performed by my son. He had avoided any punishment or an
Insignificant offense. Okay. So a simple act was happened, but he made such a huge hue and cry out. Okay. So, Samik Rishi is showing such a mature response. Okay. One is he's understanding the offense is insignificant, and one more is Parikshit Maharaj's greatness. And thirdly, he's not taking his son's side. Okay, मेरे बेटे ने किया होगा तो शाबाश. He's not congratulating his son over there. Okay, but he is understanding that what has happened, it has happened because of some higher powers only. Now, he's not taking the son into task now. Further also you'll see he's not beating his son or anything like that over there. He's understanding some higher powers are only orchestrating things in this world. Yes, read. Yes, please read.
With the best talent, no money. Peace.
asked Buddha the first one here, so he's never been very legal form the citizen of the state university protected by and the problem.
Okay. As I said, he was completely conscious of Parikshit Maharaj's greatness. Okay. So here he is not, he understood his boy, what has happened. What is the particular word he's using? Your intelligence as such is not natural, in nature. Okay. So he is understanding, because of his boy being absorbed in a very material situation, intelligence not being so sharp, not being so much into scriptures. That is why whatever decisions he is making, he's only creating trouble for himself and for others also. Okay. Had the boy's intelligence been mature, he would have understood. Parikshit Maharaj has done some activity. Let me at least think about it. Mm-hmm. So humility means that. Humility means we learn to doubt our intelligence. Okay? Simplest definition of humility, that we learn to doubt our intelligence. Okay? So this boy, he forgot that part. Okay? He had full faith in his own intelligence. That is what created all problems. Okay? Any situation, any scenario, whenever we see, if we are doubting our intelligence, doubting our evaluation and all, that will save us a lot of trouble. Will save us a lot of trouble. Okay? Shamik Rishi as such is thinking, oh, this activity as such is done by Parikshit Maharaj. So we have to think why he is doing what he is actually doing. Okay? This activity is done by Parikshit Maharaj. He is at least bringing it to that point. Okay? What has happened, how it has happened, why it has happened to me only, all these things we can think about. But who has done this activity? Parikshit Maharaj. That itself is a testimony that something significant should be there in the background. Significant. Okay. If I am telling you this, no, because even when we read scriptures, nowadays it's like a fashion only. Okay. Everybody comes to a very whimsical conclusion just like that. Okay. Without any reason, without any understanding, without any thoughts. People just to come to a conclusion without any logic also. Okay. Just like Krishna's birth. So, like very intelligent people, they ask this question. Kamsa knew that the eighth child who will be born to Mother Devaki will be the cause of his death. Okay. So, why did Kamsa put Vasudeva and Devaki in the same jail as such? Okay. Why did Kamsa put Vasudeva and Devaki in the same jail? Very intelligent question, no? Very intelligent question. So, you understand what I said? Very intelligent. Okay. Now, why I'm bringing this context? Because here, Samik Rishi, we can learn from Samik Rishi, he is conscious of Parikshit Maharaj. He is conscious of Parikshit Maharaj. And looking at Parikshit Maharaj, he is understanding that something significant would have happened, because of which he ended up doing something like this. Okay? He is not immaturely concluding, okay, he has done like this because he is this, like that, like the way his son concluded. Okay? So in this world, generally people get into blame game. Generally people get into a blame game. Swami Rishi as such, he is able to realize, these are the factors because of which it has happened. These are the factors which it has not happened. So one story was there. This will bring about a principle which comes in the later verses also directly. Okay, you'll read that. Verse comes in the 16th chapter. That comes maybe in the 18th or 19th chapter. Okay. So as per that verse, how is it? I'll tell you a story, very simple story. You'll be able to appreciate that. Once one king arranged for a feast. Okay. So huge amount of all items were cooked. Okay. Huge pots were there and all different items, huge pots as such were getting cooked. Okay. Sabji, rice, dal, everything for that matter. Okay. One eagle had killed a snake. Okay. Eagle picked up the snake and it was flying in that direction. Okay. Somehow, when the eagle took the snake and was coming in that area where that cooking was happening, some drops of poison which were there on the fangs of the snake, okay, those drops of poison dropped into the vessel over there. Okay, vessel. Then the food as such was distributed. People started to eat. Then they started to drop dead there only. Okay? Many people started to die. Then they understood something is wrong with the food. Other people stopped as such. By that, like many people had died. Yeah? When the king came to that scenario, he was seeing, what has happened wrong and things like that over there. Okay. Then the Yamudutas came because people had died, no? And the souls had to be transferred next body. Their what can I say? their profession now starts off. Now, into their part of the career now they came. Okay. Now they were seeing what had happened. They understood the reality. Bird had taken the snake into the sky. Drop of poison dropped into the food. These people ate the food and they were dead. Okay. Now people have died. Now something wrong has happened. Sin has happened. Now the sinful reaction, if it has to go to whom should it go? So they were just evaluating the situation over there. Okay. The king as such was analyzing. Some people started to blame the king. Why it happened? Because the king deliberately wanted to kill many people. That is why he put the poison into the food to kill everybody. Okay. Some people started to blame the cooks. Because of these cooks, they don't know cooking. Deliberately, they mixed some item with the other item, which became poisonous. And these people have died because of the cooks, for that matter. Okay. Other people started to blame the vessel makers. No, the vessels are not made properly, or they are made with poisonous materials. That is why the people died. Okay. Yamadutas, no, they were so relaxed as such. Now, because all their career, their job profile, whatever they have to do, no, as per their job description, all that got settled very easily. Because the sinful reactions had to be given. Now, these people who were pointing fingers, no, at others, they were given the reactions. Understood? Didn't understand. People who were pointing fingers, no. Actually, what had happened? Snake had gone above. Drop of poison from the snake had fallen into the food. Because of that, people had died. Okay? Now, Yamadutas understood that. And those people who were silent, they were relieved. No, nothing happened. But all these sins went to these fellows. All these sins went to these fellows. Okay? So, whenever we blame people, whenever we blame providence, whenever we blame situation, and verbally and exhaustively, no, people come out. No, इसकी वजह से किया, इसने किया, इसकी वजह से हुआ है, ऐसे नहीं हुआ होता तो ऐसे होता, ऐसे नहीं हुआ तो ऐसे होता. This kind of a language, as soon as it is used, you only get a lot of sin in this world, free of cost, no, double benefit. No, we didn't do anything wrong also, but whatever wrong somebody else would have done, we get the sin for that. Till what time we go? 9 o'clock. Huh? Okay. I just read some things from Manu Samhita. Very interesting. These quotations are very relevant to this context also. This I got from His Holiness Mahavishnu Goswami Maharaj. They are significant. See? Somebody please read.
By malice and backbiting. By doing so, critic takes upon himself the role of the wise man, which means the wise man tasks off by forgiving the ignorant.
By forgiving the ignorant. One person visited one temple. Okay? So he gave 5 lakh rupees donation. Okay? What do you understand from this? New people who have come, you can give them the mic. Yes, Prabhuji, last one. Aap bataye. There. Okay. No. Some more analysis.
Good person for the
benefit of okay. Somebody else, some other point? Yes. बोलिए. Not okay, illegal cash. Okay. Yes. All of this can be true. Any some more? Yes. You want? Name them. Okay. मंदिर के दीवार पर हमारा नाम लिखाया जाएगा. Yes. Okay, punya. I'll donate. I'll get some punya. Okay. Yes. Some more thoughts. Question is simple, no? Person came and gave 5 lakh rupees as donation. Okay, what do you understand from this? Okay. Now, as per his karma, some things have to be given in charity, is giving in charity. Okay. One more factor comes that if he is giving 5 lakh, means he should have a good amount of savings and all. Maybe 5 crores or 50 crores. That is why he is able to give 5 lakh very easily. Correct? Okay. Yeah. Why I'm telling you this in relation to this context. Yeah. Now, somebody is giving you this much pain. Means what? Someone is giving you this much pain. Means what? Oh, he has lots of. He has lots of pain. That is why he is able to give this much. That is giving that much. Okay? That is what wise man forgiving the other person in the sense he is able to see that part. Okay? He is able to see the reality over there. Although he is giving this much pain, forgiveness is that. Forgiveness is that not that okay, somebody tells you sorry and you say okay. Forgiveness is somebody does something wrong to you, you are still his well-wisher. You still have the disposition of a well-wisher towards him, although he has done something wrong to you, seeing the reality of this and this. Clear? Seeing the reality of this and this, you are able to see the reality. As per that, you are still being a well-wisher. Okay, that is why he is giving forgiveness. So let us say somebody criticizes you, somebody blames you or something. Just if you have a well-wishing heart for the other person, this is what will happen. Our sins will go to him. He'll naturally, automatically realize. You need not even tell him, you did wrong to me, you hurted me, you did this to me, you did that to me, who are you, etc. Automatically this happens. Yeah, read.
A person being criticized will not criticize in retaliation for the pain and upon receiving criticism, if endured, will itself consume the critic and bring an exchange in return.
Somebody criticizes you, somebody blames you or for something. We just have to remain silent. Then all his punya and all whatever is there, that will come to us. That will come to us. That is why in India, teachers and doctors were so much respected. Okay, even now also for that matter, very much respected. West and all, it is not like that. Teachers, students take a gun to the class and go. Okay, fact only. Take a gun, proper gun as such, gun which works also. Gun which works also with bullets and all everything is works also. India teachers were very much respected because people knew these facts. Somebody is criticizing me, somebody is telling me what is right, what is wrong, somebody is beating me with a stick, straightening me and all, because he is my well-wisher. He is taking my sins over there, doing that, and his piety as such is coming to. Somebody has to give his piety, means he should have that much also with him, first of all.
One more detail. One more detail. Okay.
No, this is from Mahabharata, the Udyoga Parva. Okay, not Dattatreya, that is
I think this person decides to not do the according to that, they were very much defined. And we should not think immediately doing anything. I would say that.
okay. Yes. Read the next one.
Alpha, one who tolerate, not become angry. Certainly, attend and endure abusers while they, his own sins are transferred to the wrathful person.
Yeah. Yes, with this we'll conclude. Please read, somebody.
Where women are offered, their gods are abused. But where they are not honored, no sacrifice, no sacred life is. One mother is equal to 10 fathers covering the whole world. There is no senior person equal to the mother. Indeed, she is above all others in terms of reverence and respect due to her. It is for this reason that people offer so much respect to mother.
Offer to mother. That was how the Vedic culture was. So nowadays, how we see PhD or this qualification, that qualification, and all. Okay, women as such were very eager to become mothers. Because mothers were given this kind of a position. Of course, even today this holds true. Somebody is very much respectful to all mothers, then all these glories come to him. Okay, and if he is being disrespectful, everything goes away also. That's what I said. Vedic sciences are very, very subtle. Okay, you cannot bring in no relation between these aspects, how they work, how they don't work, etc., etc. Okay. Yes. Any questions also? I had thought of discussing something from Dhruva Maharaj sections also. There also the context comes where Dhruva Maharaj as such is told by his stepmother, okay, that you should go to the forest and meditate, then take birth in my womb, then you will be able to sit on the lap of your father and all. Okay. And he goes to his mother Suniti, and Suniti accepts that fact. Okay. He says, you have got instruction about the Supreme Lord from like person like Suruchi. Still, it is in relation to the Supreme Lord. So don't worry, just execute it. All good will happen. There is one more it was a very beautiful conversation. Time was less, that's why I didn't look at that. So any questions or so on the topic or what we went through, you can ask. Online also, somebody has questions, you just raise your hands as per that. When it comes to what Bhagavatam teaches, I'll tell you. Okay, when it comes to personal criticisms, somebody is telling you are like this, you are like that, and all. When we are Krishna conscious, no, then we actually see the reality. You understood, no? Reality of this and that, what I said. Okay. So then we naturally respond in a way that both the parties become more Krishna conscious. You understood what I said? Okay. But when we are not Krishna conscious, then lot of evaluations and all come up. Okay? But when we are Krishna conscious, as such, we understand all these things, whatever we read through, no, these are facts only. Somebody is criticizing us means he is not hurting us, he is hurting himself only. He is losing his piety, he is gaining our sins. You understood? So all this reality, we become reality conscious when we are Krishna conscious. If not, we also get dragged away by Maya there also. He criticizes us, we also criticize in retaliation, this, that keeps happening. First part. Secondly, let's say somebody is criticizing us. Somebody is telling that, Hare Prabhu, you eat so much of salt. Something, I'm just telling. But that is not actually a fact. Because there's little bit of the fact. We don't eat only little extra salt, we eat so many extra things. Clear? Let's say somebody is pointing out some fault. No, you don't do this properly. That is not the only fault. We have so many faults as such. Clear, not clear? So when we have Krishna conscious, we feel happy only. Somebody is there at least, okay, this new fault in me pointed out. I didn't know about that. That is very good. But over time, that is what happens in bhakti. As you grow in seniority, no, very less people will be there who will be able to tell you, no, you are going this way wrong, that way wrong, etc. Not only in Krishna consciousness, even in life also. Fortunate are those people who get somebody to pinpoint and tell. This is as far as personal criticism is concerned, first part. We should take a very defensive and strong stand when the Lord's authority as such is challenged, criticized, or some other devotee around us is criticized, or acharyas as such are criticized. That time we should take a very strong stand against. Okay? When it comes to personal criticism, we should understand there is benefit only for us. Benefit only. Somebody is coming and putting gold into your pocket here, there, everywhere is putting free of cost is putting. So why benefit only, no? Free of cost is putting. Did I answer your question? Yeah. See, one is what Shamik Rishi did, one is what Parikshit Maharaj did. These are those people who are fully perfected their lives. Okay, we should hold them as ideals. We should meditate on their ideals, and we should strive for that. Okay, and as sadhakas, what are we expected to practice? In these kind of scenarios where we are criticized, hurted, and all, first is what I told him in relation to those things. What I told, those are the realities. That is accepted. First part. Secondly, we should have some trustworthy people in whom we can share those things. Okay, tell them that this is how this devotee spoke like this to me, or this happened in my life, and all. At least once or twice we just share, just give off that emotional whatever energy and all that was hurting us. We just release it. Then after that, we just keep it aside and practice more our Krishna consciousness. That no, these are very confidential people and very mature people. We will not keep telling everybody over there, but one or two people we should tell. No, this is what happened in my life, and this is how I'm struggling as such. When I say these are mature people, when they say that when they hear something like this from you, they'll pray for you. That might have more impact on your consciousness than your own striving. We would understand. Since you share with somebody who's like very mature and all, he hears it from you, he prays for you. With that, you are able to develop more strength, internal strength, more tolerance as such. First part. Secondly, this is the first part. See, forgiveness is defined like that. Forgiveness in the sense, if I was put in that other person's position, most probably I would have also done the same thing. Like somebody has hurted you, you are forgiving him means you put yourself in his shoes and understand that most probably I might have also done the same thing. Mostly something might have happened in his life because of which he is so harsh. Something might have happened in his childhood because of which he is so harsh. Or the current situations in his life are forcing him to become like that. This is what is forgiveness. Forgiveness is not like, okay, no, you said like this to me, okay, that's not forgiveness. Forgiveness is, okay, we empathize with that person in his position over there. And with that also, we still have some that, whatever remains in the heart you are telling, right? That is still there. Okay, then we just share that with mature devotees and they give us a broader perspective. Then we keep going ahead with life. The reality is we stamped Krishna's face and came to the material world. That is the reality. For that, we deserve many bad things. Little bit is happening, we just push it aside. Let's say somebody stamps on the Prime Minister's face. Somebody stamps on the Prime Minister's face. What all he has to face in his life after that? So many things, sir. We stamped on the Supreme Lord's face only when we came here.
There is only how to say to the people for lunch. Those who continuously find fault with others, like them. So sometimes it becomes very unable to hear. How to
Ideal if women can be housewives and all. In today's scenario, that might not be like a practical answer. First of all, okay? They're like housewives or doing things at home. And, that will be best. If not, okay, financial situation and those factors are there. Then if they're involved in those professions where devotees are involved, that can be a little more sober. If not, they can do things at home only. Something on the internet they do, then they gain money out of it to balance financial needs of family. These will be like ideal situations for women. Because the outside world will remain the outside world. You cannot change the situation too much. In English, there is a saying, better to wear shoes than to cover the whole world with carpet. Okay, in that scenario, let's say you're there in the office, you have to sit at lunch. Okay, put some earphones, hear some lecture, this, that, and all of it. or it's even in professional world, it's very good if we can be very honest. Honest in the sense, like you can tell them like, see, you told like that when we were sitting at lunch. Especially when you give corrections, you have to be a little more slow and mature also. You can tell them that I prefer constructive criticism. I don't prefer criticism in this harsh and aggressive manner. So whenever I'm there, no, it will be nice if you can avoid it. Directly you can tell. I feel very disturbed by that. Directly you can tell. There's no nothing wrong. Straightforward, but still sensitive. Straightforward and sensitive. Let's say 10 people are sitting at the lunch. You directly tell somebody, or you are criticizing the other person, don't be like this. I prefer constructive criticism. If not, better don't speak and all. Then you might feel more offended over there because of our straightforwardness.
Better to avoid all the unnecessary. Better. Keep myself place. Just talking is okay. So it's better to avoid all.
Very good. That is what. That is what the women have professions at home only, but that might not work. Yes, ma'am.
परंतु कृष्णा कॉन्सेंट्रेट हो और कृष्णा कॉन्सेंट्रेट में आने के बाद प्रश्न कर जाते हैं हमारी ब्रेकफास्ट कर जाते हैं अच्छा निर्णय करने लगते हैं बट इससे कभी कभी पांच थॉट आते हैं कि इससे पहले कौन रिजल्ट किया बहुत सारी चीजें नहीं करते और दोबारा कुछ थॉट को जब कभी कभी आते हैं कि कैसे बताऊं
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Take your mind, throw it out of the window. Very simple. As time passes, no, as our age passes, as our time passes, the duration that we give for Navavida Bhakti. Okay, Bhagavata Shastra Marma, Navavida Bhakti Dharma. Okay, the Marma of Bhagavat is this only. Our time and energy that we give for Navavida Bhakti, that has to go on increasing. If that doesn't happen, okay, at least take up some indirect services. Clean the temple hall, cook for the Lord. At least these should increase. If that is not happening, then the mind will take over. That is why I showed that. What is mind? What is intelligence? Those past experiences will blow out of proportion. Just like the Shringi, you know, he just took some simple thing that had happened, blew it out of proportion. The materialistic mind is meant for that. That is what I said. To meditate or to get absorbed in something negative is very, very easy for the individual, anybody for that matter. But to get absorbed in something positive, something on the spiritual side, that requires a good amount of discipline, practice, and association, and habits, etc., etc. Yes. Narad Muni told Yudhishthira Maharaj, no, at home many people will keep telling something, you just keep nodding your head. Keep nodding your head, then they'll stop, then you continue your Krishna. See, in the material world, no, relationships boil down to exchanges. They don't boil down to observation. In the sense, like in devotee association, let's say you know person, you don't interact with him much, but you observed that he's doing cooking, he's doing that service. So naturally, a reverential relation has already built up. Material world, it can't happen so easily. People demand exchanges over there. Clear, no? So when they're telling you do this, you do that, and all, they at least want you to have some exchanges with them. With that, you can expect them to become little bit pacified, considerably pacified. So whenever my parents and all bring up some angle of thought like this and all, I just have fun with them. Whatever they say, I just make a joke out of it and just pacify them more. Because without Krishna consciousness, the person, his mind becomes so troubled. He just wants some relaxation. You understand, no? So for that, okay, okay, because we are his son or his daughter or some relation is there. Okay, with you when they talk, no, they okay, just relax. They just release that head, no, which is burning like anything from. या तो वो करना पड़ेगा नहीं तो सुट्टा मार के दारू पीना पड़ेगा उनको. So they thought, okay, at least you are there, let me have. So have some exchanges. Don't take those exchanges seriously. Just laugh it off. No? Especially when it comes in the aggressive side, no, a very angry side. Just laugh it off. Okay. Like we were there in Udupi, Mangalore, no, doing book distribution. So my parents were calling, and it was like very hectic for like days together. I didn't take their phone call. Okay. Then once one congregation well-wisher devotee had given his place to stay. We were staying there. The beach was like hardly 700 meters from that. Okay. It was so tight that we only few evenings we were able to go to the beach. Most other evenings and all, like all that, so many things we do in book distribution, we were not able to go. One evening when I was there on the beach, I called my father. He was asking, no, where are you and all. I told him, I'm there at the beach. अरे साधु का कपड़ा पहना है बीच बीच के तेरे को क्या जरूरत पड़ गई. And I just had a video call. I showed, no, I am actually at the beach. See, this is the beach, this is the water, this is sand. You understand? You need not give a Krishna conscious explanation. No, we devotionally enjoy. We came here to do kirtan. We are chanting. We are appreciating the Lord's beauty. Nothing. Laugh it off or just push it aside. They are pacified. Then one more relative told we are going to foreign for this tour and all. But yeah, please go, no problem. Hey, paisa de do pehle, paise tere ko dena padega. I just kept laughing at that. Then cut the call over there. Okay. I have to take it seriously. Where I have to arrange money? I am a monk. Why are they asking? Why to think so? Laugh it off. Clear, no? So online, any queries also? They're active online sometimes. Okay. Fine, no? It's 9:15. They'll be hungry. Okay. I hope for those who have come for first time, newcomers and all, you're able to relate to the subject to some degree, whatever we discussed. Okay. In Bhagavad Gita, it comes, 6th chapter, if you read, no? There yogi is described. Yogi is seen to be a person, Shita, Ushna, Sukha, Dukha, Man, Apman. In all these situations, a yogi is very stable. Okay. But we are looking at Bhakti yogis. Bhakti yogis are those people, when in these kind of situation, Shita, Ushna, Sukha, Dukha, Man, Apman, they're not only stable, they're wishing well for the other person. Or they're doing things which can bring good for the other person. So that category is very rare to be seen also. The theory is very easy to speak. Even I am sitting here and speaking, it's very nice. Okay? But when it comes to practice, we have to look at scriptures, and very few devotees can actually come to that stage very fast. It's not so easy. Okay. But when we meditate on them, then actually these qualities do come into our hearts. When we practice Bhakti Yoga very, very seriously and with sincere practitioners, then these come into our hearts. Naturally, they come. Okay. Nice. Sir. Will you close? Tantra Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam ki jai. Śrīla Prabhupāda ki jai. Gaur Premanande. Hare Krishna, Krishna. Yeah.